In the near future, a devastating conflict has left the world in ruins. The Earth is now a vast, barren desert known as the Lost Lands. Humanity survives in a single remaining city, ruled by the Overlord. Order is enforced by the Church, which holds strict authority over the people. One day, a woman named Gray is sentenced to be executed for practicing forbidden powers. The executioner uses her as a warning to others who might challenge the Church. But once the executioner leaves, Gray uses her abilities to create a powerful illusion. A soldier sees himself as the one being hanged and, in panic, fires at the rope to save himself, accidentally freeing Gray. Still caught in the illusion, he believes she's next to him and fires again, mistakenly striking another soldier. When the executioner returns and discovers what happened, she eliminates the soldier under Gray's spell and orders a search party to find her. As they hunt through the ruins, Gray stalks them from the shadows, silently eliminating them one by one until only the executioner remains. Gray corners her, knife in hand. The executioner urges her to finish it quickly, but Gray chooses to hang her instead. As she walks away, the crowd silently parts for her and whispers her new title, the witch who does not hang. Elsewhere, a lone man named Boss rides across the desert. He halts at a tunnel, sensing danger. Speaking aloud, he triggers an ambush. One of the bandits attempts to steal his weapon, but a two-headed serpent tied to it strikes and kills him instantly. Boss calls forth magical weapons and defeats the entire group. Afterward, he retrieves the serpent. Meanwhile, Gray finds shelter in a tall tower. She leaves coins for a blind woman, who recognizes her by her kindness. Later, they are visited by the Queen and Jeruz, the captain of the royal guard. The Queen offers valuable jewels in exchange for the power to take the form of a wolf. Gray never refuses a deal and accepts. She explains that she'll hire a hunter to slay a shapeshifter and claim its power. The deadline is the next full moon, just 6 days away. As Gray prepares her weapons, Jeruz approaches her with his own offer. He claims loyalty to the Queen, but believes gaining this power will destroy her. Gray doubts his intentions, suspecting envy. Still, as always, she accepts his payment, an old watch. Gray casts a spell to observe the Lost Lands. She sees a group of men attempting to fight a giant wolf, but they're swiftly defeated. Elsewhere, the Overlord lies in bed, helpless, and asks the Queen for assistance. She scolds him and then leaves, meeting secretly with Boss. Their relationship is revealed when she kisses him. As Boss tries to sneak out of the castle, guards confront him. He spits his drink into a torch, igniting one of them, then knocks the other down a flight of stairs. Later, in a tavern, Gray approaches Boss with a job offer. He's a seasoned traveler of the Lost Lands, but is more interested in gambling. Gray plays him in a game and wins easily. Despite his hesitation, few return from the Lost Lands. He finally agrees to guide her. Gray promises him the watch's payment and gives him permission to abandon her if she slows him down. Boss tells her about a legendary wolf that lives near Skull River. Gray recognizes the name from her vision. Just then, a group of soldiers enters the bar. One fires from above, but Boss throws the serpent, which strikes the attacker. The body falls, and the creature leaps to another soldier. In panic, his companion severs the arm to stop the spread. The executioner arrives, quickly ending the serpent's life with her blade. When she turns around, Gray and Boss are gone. At the church, the patriarch reminds the congregation that all who challenge their rule must be punished. The crowd pretends to pray while secretly passing a message about a resistance movement. After the service, it becomes clear the patriarch already knew about the note. He realizes Gray is becoming a symbol for the rebellion. The executioner captures the blind woman and forces her to confess that Jeruz and the Queen visited Gray. The patriarch orders the executioner to find Gray and force her to confess to corrupting the city's leaders before executing her. Out in the Lost Lands, Gray and Boss camp for the night. Boss attempts to catch another serpent, but none are suitable. When Gray lies down to rest, Boss approaches her with a blade, but she catches him with her own weapon. It turns out he was trying to protect her from a scorpion. The next day, they reach a trading post run by siblings Mara and Ross, old friends of Boss. Mara kisses him, and they're invited inside. Boss explains they have a week to find a shapeshifter, but Gray insists she only has a few days. Boss decides to take a dangerous shortcut. That night, Boss and Mara share a quiet moment, regretting that they only meet once a year. As they leave the next morning, Boss tells Mara that she and her brother are the only good people left in the Lost Lands. Gray notices the bones of a massive creature locked in a cage. Meanwhile, the executioner and her soldiers begin a full search using a train. The Queen confronts the patriarch for launching this operation without her consent and for leaving the city unprotected. The patriarch accuses her of betrayal, but she denies it. Later, he contacts the executioner from the train. He tells her he's confirmed the Queen lied and urges her to capture Gray as quickly as possible. If they act fast, they might even be able to arrest the Queen. The ruler's health is failing, and soon the elder leader will be able to take control of the city. Sometime later, soldiers capture Ross and Mara. They are brutally interrogated until Mara reveals that Gray and Boy are heading to Skull River. Before leaving, the soldiers take Ross and Mara's lives and destroy the trading post. The next day, Gray and Boaz arrive at the Rift, a crumbling city filled with massive chasms. They explore an old building with a cable car system. Boaz searches for the operator, who usually offers rides for a fee, but he doesn't respond when Boy calls out. The two begin searching the area and soon find that the man has been hanged, evidence that the soldiers got there first. As they try to leave, the executioner and her group appear. They offer to let Boyce go if he hands over Gray, showing Mara's body to prove their intent. Suddenly, Mara, still alive, whispers Boyce's name. The executioner ends her life immediately. Enraged, Boaz opens fire while Gray charges ahead, disarms a soldier, and joins the fight. Working together, they take down the attackers. Unfortunately, more soldiers emerge from a hidden compartment in the train. Gray and Boaz fight back fiercely, eliminating many enemies, but they're outnumbered. As Gray runs out of ammunition, they attempt to flee, but the train's cannon fires at them. They narrowly avoid the blast and fall, but aren't seriously injured. They rush to the cable car, and Boyce shoots the reel to set it in motion. As the car moves over a vast chasm, soldiers try to board it. Gray and Boyce fight them off. Some climb onto the roof, and Gray quickly follows, using her blades to defeat most of them. She forces the last soldier into a trap, causing him to fall. Inside the car, Boaz battles more attackers hand-to-hand. The executioner, seeing her team losing, orders a soldier to cut the cable. The car tips dangerously. Gray holds on using her blades while Boaz breaks a window, knocking another enemy out. The executioner fires again, severing the final cable. The car slides down a building before crashing into the cliffside. Gray and Boaz climb the rock wall and escape just before the wreckage falls. As they climb, the executioner shoots and hits Boyce's shoulder. Gray reaches the top and uses her powers to distract the attacker, helping them escape. That night, Boaz removes the bullet with Gray's help, and she stitches the wound. He reflects on his fallen friends and promises to stop the executioner. They fall asleep, watching the sky shimmer with lightning. The next morning, the queen realizes she is expecting a child. Though she knows Boaz is the father, she pretends the ruler is. With an heir to solidify her power, she ends the ruler's life by smothering him. Meanwhile, Gray and Boaz arrive at the Scourge of Shadows, a cursed area that becomes overrun with dark creatures at night. As they hide inside a cooling tower, they hear the executioner's train nearby. With no time to flee, they douse the ground in gasoline and wait. As night falls and lights flicker on, a creature appears. Boaz throws a lighter to ignite the gasoline, forming a circle of fire. More creatures arrive, and the two start shooting, but regular weapons barely work. The creatures use a metal plate to form a bridge over the fire. Boaz kicks a gas can and shoots it to cause an explosion. One creature jumps through the fire and attacks, but Gray pulls Boaz back, stabbing the monster with her blades. The creature spins and lashes out at her. Gray leaps into close combat. Boaz charges in with a metal rod, piercing the creature, while Gray throws a blade at another gas tank, causing a massive explosion. This draws the attention of the leader, who watches from above. He and his followers leap down and attack. The leader calls Gray by name and warns her she shouldn't have returned. She responds with magic, pushing him back and releasing flames from her hands. The fire forms a massive tornado, engulfing all the creatures, including the leader. Afterward, Boaz mentions he didn't feel the heat. Gray explains it was all an illusion. She made the creatures believe they were burning, and the trick overwhelmed them. The following day, the elder declares that the ruler is gone. However, the queen is expecting a child, who will now become the new leader. The crowd remains silent, so Jerus fires into the air to pressure them into cheering. The elder kneels before the queen, vowing to guide her with wisdom, though in secret he mocks her and calls for the enforcer, urging her to act quickly. Meanwhile, the queen has her own ambitions. She kisses Jerus to manipulate him, hoping to use his army for her personal aims. Elsewhere, Boss and Gray arrive at the Fields of Fire. Boss mentions they will reach their destination by the next day. Knowing the danger ahead, Gray suggests Boss take the reward and leave. He refuses and asks her to return with him. But Gray is bound by a curse. She must complete every mission she accepts. The next day, as they pass through a tunnel, they hear a train approaching. Unable to escape in time, they devise a plan. Gray stands on the tracks and waits until the last moment, then runs. The enforcer commands the train to follow, unaware it's a trap. Gray leads it to a broken section of track and leaps to safety, caught by Boss. The train crashes into the chasm, exploding and taking the enforcer and her squad with it. When the elder learns of this, he attempts to seize power with his guard. But Jerus and his forces surround and eliminate them, leaving the queen as the sole ruler. Jerus and the queen celebrate that night. The next day, Gray and Boss reach Skull River, where bones of past victims fill the land. Inside an old building, they find signs of life, but see no one. Boss urges her to leave, but Gray insists on finishing the mission. At nightfall, Gray sharpens her fingers with silver and heads out. Boss tries to stop her, but it's too late. The full moon rises, and he transforms. It's revealed he was the shapeshifter all along. Gray realizes he may have brought her there to end her. His body changes, tearing his clothes, becoming a massive beast. Gray throws a watch at him before engaging with her silver claws. He overpowers her easily and hurls her aside. She then creates an illusion of birds attacking him, buying time to hide. When he lunges at one of the birds, it vanishes, revealing Gray. She strikes with the claws. He tries to resist, but is too weak. After a few more hits, she brings him down. He lifts his arms in one final effort as she prepares the last strike. Later, Boss wakes up covered in wounds. Gray gives him water and tells him to rest. When he wakes again, he finds himself chained. She had hidden silver under his skin while tending his wounds, slowly weakening him. As she prepares to finish it, Boss asks for one last request. He wants them to be together, to hunt side by side, so they're no longer alone. Gray agrees, but with a condition. As the clouds part and the moon returns, he begins changing again. Gray starts cutting into his chest. The next morning, she places the watch on his grave and walks away, carrying his hide. Upon reaching the city, the oppressed call her name. Guards attempt to stop them, but fail. Soon, a large church symbol is pulled down by the uprising. Gray gives the hide to Jeruz, with instructions for the queen to use it and gain strength. When Jeruz accuses her of failing, Gray explains she eliminated the queen's companion, Jeruz's secret desire all along. Later, the queen breaks down upon realizing the hide came from Boss, her true love. She had always wished to become like him so they could be together. Jeruz claims Boss led her astray. Realizing the betrayal, the queen uses a pin to stab Jeruz in the neck, ending him. The uprising takes the opportunity to storm the palace, overwhelming the guards. As the sun rises, the hide is reduced to ash. At the same moment, Boss's grave begins to shake. Sometime later, Boss is reborn and finds Gray, intending to strike her down. But Gray reveals she knew all along that he was the queen's partner. She orchestrated everything to ensure the rebellion succeeded and that Boss would survive. Though still angry, Boss tries to fire his weapon, but it misfires. He lunges with a blade. They both end up with weapons at each other's throats. Gray reminds him this is what he once wished for. Boss accepts it. Together, they set out to wander the Lost Lands.